Welcome to the Big Cat Lounge podcast, where we interview guests in a casual lounge setting from all over the world, sharing their insights one story at a time. We can be found on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, iHeartRadio, and much more. Please rate and subscribe to our show to stay updated on the Big Cat Lounge. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to the Big Cat Lounge podcast. I'm Big Cat KZ, and today's guest comes from Dakar, Senegal. She's a security architect, cybersecurity specialist, systems administrator, blockchain enthusiast, computer security analyst, and much more. We welcome Faith Kimongo to the Big Cat Lounge podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking your time to be on the show. So tell us a little bit more about how you decided to go into this field.
Okay, so like I said, I'm Faith Kimongo. So I've studied, I have a master's in computer security, and in security, there's a lot of technology coming in that field, but what is being used mostly in this world today and very secure is blockchain. That's why I decided to do a lot of blockchain and security, which we can see is being used mostly in this world that we're living in. And it's a technology that we are sure of it's not going to end anytime soon, and that will be used for a very long time. So my passion in security and keeping our world safe, because this world is turning into whatever is happening in this world is being converted into digital, something that we have to use technology. Even through communication, in everything we have to use technology. We have to be secure, and we have to keep everything that we do through our technology secure. That's why I I got that I grew an interest in knowing more about this and this technology and understanding how we can secure it. So that's mainly the reason why I went into this field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of opportunities in your country for this area field, or is it something
Yeah.
that you just had to reach out and know a contact for?
In my country, there's so many opportunities, but they need someone who is more experienced. So to get an entry level or an opportunity for someone who has very low experience is very rare. But but I think it's a try, you know. Yeah,
Mhm.
you never know. Hmm.
Injection attack. What does that terminology mean?
Okay, um, in this field there are so many attacks that we can face, but mainly the injection attack. It's a broad class of attack vectors. It's whereby when we talk of injection attack, to be specific, is where an attack supplies untrusted input or program in a processed program that is already working. And the input gets processed with the malicious input gets processed with the input that the good guys have put to be processed. And as part of the command in the nice command, when they get processed, it is executes whatever the attacker wants to be executed in that program. So that's what we call injection attack, like putting a malicious program in the good program. And when someone doesn't realize that, you process the whole of the program together with the malicious program, and whatever now the attacker wanted to inject in your program, it just comes out and it's injected. That's what we call injection attack.
What can we do personally to just try and stay ahead of these attacks that are going to come? Because a lot of the times
Mhm.
um, we're only preparing ourselves when an attack happens, but we need to do more prevention methods proactively.
So we are advised most of the time to rerun our codes before deploying it, before putting it into production. We should first test it more frequently. We should pass through it. We should look for, we should debug it before it goes into production. And this is the most sure way to prevent such attacks. We should also validate the user inputs, because sometimes the the attackers will pass through the users. So validation, authentication, sanitizing the data before deployment is the most crucial steps that one should do before deployment of any program or code.
Yeah, and if you take some of those steps, then you're putting in the precautions to make sure you identify it in advance so that it isn't
Yeah,
released to production to the users.
yes, you should. Those are the main steps, but also you should also have like a backup defense program, because once it's deployed, it's not safe from being attacked. It can also be attacked once it's deployed. So you have to have systematic steps on what to do at this level when the attackers come in.
Since since blockchain is becoming impossible to falsify, do you think
Yes,
adoption is more likely in Senegal and in Africa? I know we've seen a significant rise in the cryptocurrency price of
yeah.
the asset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, in Africa, I think from what I've seen, most people are not aware of the technology and the benefits that it brings along.
Mhm.
And it's being put in, like, most people are embracing it, not most of them, but a few of them. And I think through awareness, and when these people get to know the benefits it can bring along, I think it can be embraced by many people. But for now, only a few companies here and there are using the technology. And that is when someone who has seen the benefits, like me or other people, go to the companies and talk about them and get to educate them about the technology. But then not most people in Africa are using it, and not most countries, I mean, in Africa.
It's a matter of time before they start adopting it. Because I know, like here in the U.S., a lot
Mm-hmm.
of major companies are starting to start to pay people in Bitcoin as currency. Some of the municipalities
Mm-hmm.
are incorporating it. So I think it's just finding the right people and seeing if there's a business case.
Yeah, I think the moment people get informed of what it can bring along, I think it will be the best technology any company can adopt, or rather use. I think it's just a matter of creating awareness and educating people of the technology and the benefits it can bring along, and showing, because most of the time you can create awareness, and people, if people don't see the results of whatever you are telling them, it's very hard for them to embrace it. So if someone comes up with a result, or showing them exactly what it can do, other than just creating awareness by just talking, I think with time African countries are going to benefit from it if they agree to use it. Yeah.
Today's sponsor is Anchor FM app. Go download the free Anchor app today to get started. You can find it at your Play Store or App Store. It's everything you need to make a podcast, and it distributes everything for you so it can be heard on multiple platforms such as Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, and many more. This is what I'm currently using right now to edit and record my podcast, and you can do so from your phone or computer. And the tools are really easy to use to help document the Big Cat Lounge journey. So what are you waiting for? Go today and download it.
And the pandemic accelerated, digitalization tremendously. What are you excited
Yeah.
about most?
What I'm excited is that the fact that most people are now working online. I think it brings flexibility at work. Someone can work at the same time, spend much more time with family, and I think that's the most important part: spending most time with the loved ones and making sure that you deliver at the same time. So working online has brought the opportunity for someone to be close to their loved ones, because before, when you are going to the office, you would go and work, let's say from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. By the time you get to your house, you're very tired, your children have slept, you've not even gotten any chance to see them or to spend some time with them. So I think that's the most important part: spending time with your loved ones. That's the important flexibility that working online and the pandemic has brought along.
Yeah, and I think just being able to have that balance and to be, be able
Yeah.
to understand that, there is a fine line between your family and work, but just making sure you're putting in the time because we don't
Yes.
know when you have to go back to the office or when you have to travel again, and then your time will be taken away from you.
Yes. Yes.
For yourself, were you able to, before the pandemic, were you traveling a lot for work?
Yes, I was traveling to the office and back to my house, but after I had to work online. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was not so much travel like from one country to another. It was just from my house to.
Say is your favorite programming language, since you've spent so much time now learning different tools?
Okay, my best currently is JavaScript, because of the speed, and it's very fast to run within the client side, and also its simplicity is very, very easy to understand. And even someone who has not been in contact with it, when you just sit down with them and explain, it's very simple for someone who has not had experience in it to understand. And another reason it's why I'm using it most is because it's popular. You find most companies are using JavaScript. Yeah, so, and it also gives the ability to create rich interfaces.
This brings us to our quote section. Banks don't like Bitcoin, taxis don't like Uber, hotels don't like Airbnb, bookstores don't like Amazon, cinemas don't like Netflix, 9 to 5s don't like remote work. Innovation is not always liked.
Mhm.
That's just something to reflect upon today, where, there's always going to be a disruption, but it's just pushing forward and getting adoption and getting people to really listen. So tell me a little
Uh,
bit more about your country. Are there any you're still in lockdown? Are you able to travel yet or not yet?
Currently, I'm located in Kenya, and people are moving. Like there's only curfew. It's not a complete lockdown, so people can travel during the day, but at night, starting at 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., there is the curfew. So it's not a complete lockdown. Yeah.
And was it a big change to go to Kenya? Because you're originally from Senegal, right?
No, I'm originally from Kenya.
Oh, you are? Okay. Then
Yeah, I was studying in Senegal, so I have
uh,
just completed my studies, so I came back home.
okay. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Apologies about that.
It's okay.
Yep.
Sorry? Mm-hmm.
So you have quite a lot of IBM Innovator Award certifications. How are you able
Yeah.
to pursue some of this?
Um, where I was studying back in Dakar, our school had some sort of agreement with IBM, so we were able to access the programs, the what can I call them? The courses freely. So through that, I took an opportunity because an opportunity only comes once, and I did a lot of courses, mostly that are related to computer security, which I'm passionate about, and that's how I managed to get so many certificates in IBM.
Yeah, and just continuing to learn and to strive for different areas where you can provide value and just add to your skill set. Because once you finish
Yeah,
school, it's done, and you have to seek out what you need or what improvement you're looking for. It's not something that's provided for you. No one's going to tell.
yeah. I have set goals, and it's what motivates me, and it's what makes me wake up and log into IBM or different other course platforms and study for what I want to, because study for what I want to achieve before a certain age, because I've put goals that I have to follow.
Mm.
So I think the self-discipline has helped me keep keep in line.
Yeah, and I think it's helpful just to understand from others who have already had these experiences, and just to get some guidance, because not all of us have a curriculum or have a path. It's we have to determine and find it out every day. So if we
Eh,
can just network with people that already have this knowledge, it can just accelerate our learning and our path.
yeah.
Anything else you want to tell the Big Cat Lounge community?
I think you're doing a great job, and this a very interesting platform that you've created for people to express their skills, and I believe it's helping a lot of people out there. So big up to that.
Well, thank you so much for your kind words. Yeah, we
Yeah.
appreciate it. We're just trying to achieve Big Cat International status and make sure our
Hmm.
voices can be heard all across the world.